Welcome to today's session. We are going to be doing some mobility and stretching. As I said in the beginning, you want to build in a couple of days of rest and recovery each week. It could be like mobility stuff like this and stretching, could be just taking walks, things like that. Still being a little bit active for your body, not just sitting on the couch all day. But yeah, you don't want to be doing like heavy strength training every single day, especially like back to back to back. You want to give your body a little bit of a break a couple times a week. So you don't need anything today, just your mat and yourself. Unless you might want to use like a pillow or a towel for some things to kind of help prop you up, or if you have like yoga blocks, things like that. So we're going to get started standing, and we're just going to do our hugs like we've done previously. So you're just kind of hugging yourself here and then opening up the chest and then hugging, kind of like a cat-cow almost, where it's like you're arching maybe a little bit, opening your chest up to the ceiling and then rounding a little bit in the back. Always connecting to our breathing in the beginning, well, and throughout. You can start to make it a little bit bigger, more exaggerated, maybe really extending and flexing. Just 2 more here. Last one. And then we'll just do some side bends. So you're going to reach up nice and long here, reach tall through the crown of your head, and then take a gentle side bend over. And just kind of notice how you're feeling, because we're going to do these at the end, and hopefully by the end you're feeling a little bit maybe looser, more limber. And then we'll just do the other side. Again, grow nice and tall and then bend over. Try not to compress your spine. Thinking nice and tall. And then one more on each side. Really reaching those fingers. Lengthening from your feet to your head. And then we'll do some pelvic circles, so feet a little bit wider, maybe than hip distance apart. And it's kind of like you're like hula hooping almost. Fun fact about me, I'm a really good hula hooper. Like I can hula hoop like literally for like an hour nonstop. It's a little humble brag. Well, that wasn't even a humble brag, that was just a brag. I used to really like to hula hoop. So you're just kind of doing that. And just being loosey-goosey. Today is just all about mobilizing the joints, stretching out the muscles a little bit. And then, I don't know if I said this, but change direction, I already did. Change back. And then just one more. And then we'll start just with some gentle squats. So just barely sitting back in your chair for the first few. Hands can be at your heart in prayer, or wherever you like to have them if you want to have them out. Getting a little bit lower each time. Just warming up the muscles a bit here. It's a little bit easier to get into stretching and mobility when you're a little warm. And then you can add arm circles if you want. So growing nice and tall, reaching around. Maybe you want to tap all the way down, really sit down, tap your fingers down, and then standing up. Mobility is really important, especially as we age and when you're doing strength training. Because if you don't have great mobility, say like you have really crappy ankle mobility, like my partner, he broke his ankle, I don't know how many, 8 years ago maybe. And he like, even with physio and stuff, but I don't know, typical guy, he kind of gave up his physio after a while. He can't get down into like a low squat. So And this will be our last one here. And then we'll just do some ankle raises. So without the mobility in his ankle, he can't get down to doing like a good low squat, which eventually, you know, like he'll only be able to do so many squats or so much weight until he has to, unless he wants to fix his ankle mobility. And it could be anything. It could be, yeah, like hip mobility, shoulders. If you don't have great shoulder mobility, you might not be able to do like a shoulder press very well or with great form. For 2 here. And last one. And then we'll just do some gentle twisting. Again, we're going to do this at the end, so kind of note maybe if you feel anything in certain spots. And then just one more on each side. Okay, so we're going to get into like the hardest working part of today's session. It's a little kind of plank flow. I'm just checking my notes. Oh yeah. All right. So we're going to take it nice and slow. Take it as slow as you need to. We're going to do a squat down. You're going to walk your hands off your mat to a plank. Pause for a second. And then you're just going to bend your knees and walk back to standing up. So squatting down, hands come down. Take your time, walk out to your plank. If you need to drop your knees, you can. And coming back. And slowly rising. You can add a reach, maybe a forward fold, coming down. Kind of make it your own today. Coming up. We're going to do 3 more. Always using our breath. You've got 2. And then on this last one, we're going to hold out. We're not holding a plank, don't worry. You're going to come out, you're going to drop your knees down. Knees about hip distance apart beneath your hips. Bring one foot forward. And we're just going to hold here for a little bit. So this is another good hip and ankle mobility. And then you can start to lean forward. This is where if you maybe need like ankle, if you have like yoga blocks, you could use them. And you can flow back and forth if you want, or you can just stay static. I find like if you've been sitting all day and your muscles aren't that warm, you might want to flow back and forth a few times. It's just kind of hard when if you've been like in one position all day and you're a little stiff maybe. And then coming up, if you need to hold on to something here, you can. We're going to come up into our hip flexor stretch. So kind of pressing hips forward slightly, but hips are square. If you are able to, reach the same arm up as your back leg. And then we're going to side bend over. So again, growing nice and tall before we side bend. Feeling that side body stretch. Again, hold on to something as needed. If you maybe want to do this near the wall. Guess I should have said that before. And then we're going to bring our arms to a T and we're going to do a twist. So now you're going to twist towards your front leg. So for me, that's twisting towards my right. And you can do some pulses here, or again, just hold, or you can do full body twists. Whatever your body's craving today. And then we're gonna hold, we're gonna hold here. And you can look forward, shake your head back, and forward, and back. And just relax your shoulders. And then back to center here. Do a little back of the leg stretch. So you can keep your knee bent trying to kind of keep my back somewhat flat here. And again, you can flow or you can hold. Hips are relatively level or even. And then you're gonna plant that foot down. We're gonna do a quad stretch. So you can place your hand on the floor or you can do like fingers on the floor. You're gonna grab the back of your foot with your opposite hand and you can lean into this or you can just kind of stay up. If this quad stretch is too much for you, you can do a standing quad stretch. So it's the same one we've done in the past where you're standing up and you're grabbing your foot in the same hand though, so you're not crossing like we are here. And just holding for 3, 2, and 1. Coming out of that position. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Foot comes through and we start with that kind of like leaning. You can bring your knee kind of over your toes here and really stretching out the hip flexor. If this is something, and then like pay attention to like maybe you can't do this maybe without your heel wanting to raise. So then yeah, like we need to work on our ankle mobility. And we've got 3 more, or just holding if that's what you're doing. And then last one. Now coming up, make sure you steady yourself. Hips are squared. And you're just kind of staying here for this hip flexor stretch. I'm hoping this new mic really just picks up like my voice and doesn't pick up so much my son when he's making noise. We'll have to see. And then we're going to do our side bend. So reaching your back leg, the same arm up, growing nice and tall, side bending over. Because, you know, I film these when my son is napping, but sometimes he makes just like random noises. And then arms come to a T, and we'll do that either like a little pulsing, or you can do full twists, or you can hold your twist. And then we'll hold here. Relax your shoulders again, and you can look forward and look back, and forward and back. One more. Back to center. We'll do that hamstring stretch. So if you can straighten your leg here, by all means. I just have really tight legs, but I'm, like I said, I'm trying to kind of like bring my chest almost towards my thigh, but like keeping kind of a flatter back. So I'm not just straightening my leg and really like curving my spine here. I'm trying to keep it in the hamstring. And holding for 3, 2, and 1. And then coming into our quad stretch. Again, you can kind of flow back and forth or stay still. I always want to move and like kind of flow, so I have a really hard time. Like I've been going to yoga a couple times and I have a really hard time just like sitting and being still and not moving back and forth. All right, 2 more and 1. All right. So now we're going to get back into a little bit of heat in the body. We're going to do a little bit of down to up dog flow or cobra. So hands come about shoulder width apart, or maybe a little bit wider. Come out into your high plank here. Feet are about hip distance apart or a little wider, whatever feels good for you. And we'll press back into our down dog. Think of reaching your sit bones kind of up towards the ceiling. Knees can be bent. And we'll just pedal for a little bit here. So pedaling our heels, lift one heel up and lower the other. Really think of that lifting heel. I know everybody always forgets that. breathing out for 3, 2, and 1. So now we're going to flow to our plank. You can go down if you want totally. Since I'm taking it easy today, since it is kind of our, almost day off, I'm going to drop my knees and then lower down with control. Option 1 is just little, like a baby cobra here, where you're just barely lifting your chest off the mat. If this is good for you today, you can stay here and keep your feet down. Otherwise, if you want to come up, get that stretch. And then we're going to come back to our plank, to our downward dog. Take an inhale, take an exhale, flow to our plank. Drop your knees if you're dropping them today. Lower down with control. And then take your options. Whatever feels good for you. Tuck your toes, back to plank, to downward dog. Inhale, exhale. Back to plank, drop your knees, coming down. We're going to do this 3 more times, so 5 in total. Pressing up. And your back muscles are engaged there. You're not, here, I'll show you. So my shoulders aren't up at my ears. They're down and back. And you're looking either forwards or slightly down. You don't want to be looking too far up and get that big crease in your neck. And then inhaling here, exhaling. We have 2 more. Back to plank, down. With control, lower, pressing up. Last plank here. Down dog. Inhale. Exhale. To plank. Knees drop. With control, we lower. And then coming up. And then we're going to press back to child's pose. I like to take my knees pretty wide. So take whatever option you want. Drop your head down. And just relax your shoulders, relax your wrists. You can do little wrist circles after all of that. Take your breaths. Really inhale, feeling your back expand. And exhaling it out. We're going to do 1 more nice big inhale here. And exhale. So now you can just come onto your back. We're going to do a little bit of a back series. Well, series on our back. So first move, take whichever leg you want. I'm going to do my right leg, crossing that ankle over left knee. Just press away for a little bit, open up your hips. And then I'm going to bring it up and reach through behind to my left thigh. Think of keeping your right knee open to keep those hips open. And again, you can sway side to side slightly or stay still. We'll just go for 3 and 2 and 1. And then we're going to lower that leg down. You can kind of keep holding this left leg, and we're just going to do some hamstring stretches. So that's just where you're going to be bending at the knee and straightening. So our knees over our hip. And just bending and straightening for 3, 2, and 1. We're going to hold up here. We're going to do a few ankle rolls. And just 2 more in this direction. And then the other direction. And then we'll do that figure 4 on the other side before I forget. So crossing opposite ankle over knee, press away. reaching through your figure four or whatever you want to call it. What is this one? It's also called like pretzel, and I don't remember what else is this, like half pigeon or something? I don't know. So many names. And then you can remember to keep that knee kind of open away for the hips. Again, I'm always rocking. For 3, 2, and 1. Drop that leg. Did I just do the same side? Yeah, I did. Oh my God. Well, we'll pretend I didn't. Okay. Now for 3, 2, and 1. Drop that leg down, and then we're going to bend and straighten the hamstring. I really like that stretch. I like it so much I did it on the same leg twice. And just gently bending and straightening for 3 here, and 2, and 1. Keep it up, and then we're gonna, again, do a little bit of ankle rotations. Check in that your shoulders are relaxed, jaws relaxed, and then reversing for 3, 2, and 1. So now we're gonna do scorpions, which is a weird name. I feel like everything has weird names. Okay, so you're gonna make a T with your arms. The palms can be face down or face up, whichever you like. You're gonna bring one leg up vertical and then drop, keep it straight, and then drop it over. So as I'm doing this, and your leg might actually not drop, you might kind of like hang. If you want your pillow or like yoga block or towel to put under your leg, you can do that. I just don't have one right now. So my upper body is staying nailed down to the ground, like my shoulder blades are down. Then we'll hold here for 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll do the other side. I need to kind of figure this out. So we start in our T position, legs down. Bring your other leg up now, and then keep it straight as you, don't do what I do, drop it to the other side. Keeping those shoulder blades on the mat. It's a nice low back stretch. For 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll just hug in our knees for a second here again. Do a little, it's kind of a low back stretch. Hugging yourself. And then we're gonna roll over to another side. So you can just like roll on to whichever side you want first, gently. Knees are stacked, hips are stacked. And we'll start palm face up. We're gonna do chest expansion or like shoulder rotation. So your palms facing up and you're reaching up and around. Like if your body's a clock, you're reaching up and around, moving that arm all around the shoulder socket and then coming back. You can open your chest and look at your hand as you do this. I just have a reformer in the way, but ideally you would keep your arm a little bit lower than I'm doing. And we'll do one more in this direction of our clock. And then reversing. Really feeling that shoulder gliding all around the shoulder joint. In a nice, smooth motion, opening up our chest. And then we're gonna just hold. So you're gonna bring your arm out and we're kind of in this like T position. If you can rest your arm on the ground, cool, you can do that. If you wanna have a pillow or something under your arm, do that as well. And just take a second here, relaxing. And then we'll bring it back. And we'll do that on the other side. I'm just gonna move over so that my face keeps staying to the camera and instead of just looking at my rear. So again, start in whichever direction you want, palm face up. And you can open up your chest and look at your hand, or you can just kind of stay the one way and just move the arm. It's definitely harder to do that. Shoulder mobility is something I am forever working on. My posture, it's a really good one for posture. And we'll do one more in this direction of our clock. And then reversing. And we'll do one more here. We're gonna hold out, reach underneath my reformer, and just holding. Take a nice big inhale, and then exhale it out. And then slowly take your time, kind of press up to sitting. Don't give yourself a head rush or anything. And we're gonna do saw. So you're gonna sit with your feet about the width of your mat. If you need to bend your knees, you can. If you want to put like towels or something or pillows again under your knees to support you, you can. Sitting up nice and tall, arms come to a T, but make sure your shoulders are in that neutral position, so you're not hunching up, but you're also not pulling down. And we're going to twist to one side, just to start. Twist back to center, and then twisting the other way. And then we're going to add on. So now you're going to twist. Try, if you can, again, if you have to bend your knees, you're going to bring pinky finger, touch it to baby toe. Coming up, other side, pinky finger to baby toe, and up. If it's safe for your neck, as you do this, you can look at the hand behind you. You can flip that thumb down, that one in the air behind you, and look at that hand. Get in a little cervical rotation. And let's do two more on each side. A few years ago, I could not do this move. I found this like one of the hardest. This is a classical Pilates move. In my training, when I was learning this, it's one of the hardest ones. My knees were bent and I was like, ugh, ugh. So, you mean we all got to start somewhere. And flexibility is not like everything. It's not the end all be all. We're going to sit. You can sit however is comfortable for you now, cross-legged, or if you want to sit on a chair or something. We're going to do a little chest expansion. So your elbows are kind of pointed forwards. Your head is cradled in your hands. And then we're just going to reach up. You're kind of like reaching your elbows towards the ceiling, opening your chest towards the ceiling. Take some breaths here. Again, shoulders, check that they're not up by your ears. And then you can come back to center, and we'll do it one more time. Taking some breaths. But I'm really tight in my upper back and my shoulders, so I find it hard even just doing that and just breathing. So obviously I need to do more work on that. Do a little shoulder stretch, so reaching one arm across. And then we'll do the other arm. And then we're just going to do a couple neck rolls before we stand up. So you can start just bringing your ear kind of towards your shoulder. Hold here if that's a good stretch for you. Otherwise, if you want to kind of rotate to the other side, you can do that. And then go back and forth. Jaws relaxed here. If it's safe for you, you can do the whole all the way around. I always get good cracks. Do one more in this direction. I slept weird last night, so my neck's really tight today. And then the other way. And if you're just bringing like one ear towards your shoulder, you can switch sides. Last one here. And then we'll finish with some standing. So bring yourself up. Again, take your time. No rush today. Standing pretty wide, as wide as you feel comfortable. And we're going to lean to one side for an inner thigh stretch. So all your toes are pointed in the same direction. You can kind of lean into this one side. If you want to add on, you can have your hand kind of at your upper, like above your knee here. You can have calf or all the way down. And we're going to do our rotation here. So wherever you're at today, again, if you have like a block that you want to put your hand on. For 3, 2, and 1, come up out of that position. We're going to go to the other side, and you can start just with your inner thigh stretch. And then again, wherever is comfortable for you to do your kind of your twist here, your T-arms. For 3, 2, and 1, slowly coming up. We'll do a couple forward folds, so feet about hip distance apart, growing nice and tall. Inhaling, and then as you exhale, coming down. Just hang out here for a second. Knees are soft, jaws relaxed, hands are relaxed. And you can just sway side to side. You can shake out your head. Inhaling. And then coming up to a flat back. Exhale. Inhale, lower down. Exhaling, coming up flat back. We'll do that one more time. And then slowly rising. We'll do our side bends like in the beginning. So reaching up nice and tall. Side bend over. Hopefully you feel a little bit looser. Maybe you have a little bit more energy. And then we'll just do the other side. Again, going nice and tall. Side bend over. Maybe a little relaxed. And then we're just going to twist it out to finish. So let me know if you like this kind of session. If you're somebody who needs to be reminded to maybe do some mobility and stretching work. And take breaks from your workouts, from your traditional strength workouts. Awesome. So yeah, as always, leave any comments, what you want to see, and I will see you back here tomorrow for some core.